Con 50.
I swapped that engine myself when the engine went out. Nice little engine, was light, transmission was light and everything. It was a rear wheel drive, so I had to take the whole engine and transmission out. But you know, and back then I didn't have the big commercial cherry picker. I had the little small homemade ones, and it did the job. It did the job. You know, it broke a few things and bent a few things that I had to replace. But after that, man, that little car drove so nice. And you know, like I said, I'm lucky up until this time in my life, in my career. I'm lucky that when I buy engines, I always get good engines if I buy it from the right people or the right source. You know, like I said, sometimes guys, you know, the engine, you might have getting an engine for a cheap price and it's not a good engine, and then sometimes you might be getting an expensive engine which is still not a good engine. So is how you know, it's all come down to gamble. It's not even good judgment, because this engine that I bought, I don't even know the place. It's in New Jersey, but that's how the world runs. If I'm in Africa or in Jamaica and I was doing the same thing and I bought an engine offline from eBay, this is how the engine gonna come. I'm not gonna know what the engine is like. I just got to go with what the seller told me, that it's a good engine and it's a good running engine. And whether it has faults or not, I don't know until everything is back where it's supposed to be, and I start it up and see. And like I said, when I put this back, all of these guys, everything on here has to be reset, everything. But it cannot be reset until the engine starts. Your camshaft, your two camshaft has to be relearned. Your camshaft position sensor has to be relearned. Your crankshaft position sensors has to be relearned. Your transmission computer has to be relearned. Your PCM has to be relearned. Your ABS computer has to be relearned. Everything has to be relearned, guys. Everything gotta be relearned. So it's not an easy job. And like that's I said, I have other means and ways to get around. I just want my car be up and running, so I don't have to. It doesn't have to be costing me all this much to take a taxi everywhere I'm going. Or pay a friend to take me where I'm going. And you see how these wires come loose, guys. These wires over here, see how loose they are. That's why I bought all these tape. I bought two packs of tape, electrical tape from AutoZone, and they told me that it would be here yesterday, and it's not here. And I know this is Christmas and they're closed, so I probably won't get this thing until probably tomorrow or whatever the case may be. But before the day is done, I would love to tape these things up so no water start to get into my harness and stuff like that, because it was underneath the hood, so no water was getting on it, but now it's going to be out. And if it rains, the water is going to start going into my harnesses, and I don't want that. But luckily, if I get my harness connect back together, and I even if I don't get my engine back on, I have my engine in enough that I can lock my hood. I could close my hood down and it will protect whatever out there. So yeah. So that's it, guys. So now that I get my straps where they need to be, I'm gonna pull this thing up and I'm gonna try to see if what I should have done, guys. I'm gonna show you over here. I should have put this part back together also. That means I'm ready to put that side on, whichever side I catches first. And this is the side that I was telling you about that I'm gonna put on, and I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, guys. Clean it up a little bit more. So I'm going to use the wire brush and I'm going to start clean it up a little bit. clean it up. Like I said, I like to work. I can live with old parts, but the dirty ones that have all the grinds and grease and all that stuff on it, it kind of look a certain way when you put your engine on, knowing that you just bought yourself a nice looking clean engine and the parts that you're putting on is dirty and all oily and stuff like that, you know. So I mean, these are aluminum, so they don't rust, but at least the diesel fuel kind of helps a little bit. Let's clean it up a little bit, and it looks way better than the way it was before, guys. I guarantee you that. Because like I said, all these things, they have their numbers on there. You know, these things has their number. If you're trying to find the exact one for this, all you have to do is just type this number in right here, you know, and it has the price assigned. You type this number up here into your computer, and you pull up the exact part number that you're looking for. Because that's one of the mistakes that I made when I and I'm going to show you guys one of the mistakes that I made when I purchased this first one, and that's why I had to go to AutoZone, because that that transmission engine mount right there, guys, that transmission engine mount right here that I'm pointing on right there, I had to single-handedly buy that at AutoZone, and it was $115 for that one piece, because I had found a good deal on Amazon, that I got the whole set that comes with the little black one. Everything else work, you know, the side one right here work, and this one on this side work, and the one at the bottom work, but the one on this one came black, and it wasn't the same size, it was smaller. So I had to buy this at AutoZone, and this one little piece cost me $115, guys. Yeah, and that's all aluminum. The rest of them is all metal, but that's aluminum, and I would trust that aluminum over the little thin metal piece that I got from AutoZone in the assembly. So the whole complete assembly is like it was four piece assembly. Yep, it came with that piece right here. This was one piece, and these two pieces right here, that's one piece and that's one piece. This is for the bottom, and this piece is for the side. No, this is for the bottom, and this piece is for the side. That goes over on the driver's side, and another piece is the same build like that one right here. It's the same build, but it's smaller. It's smaller and it's black, and that wasn't the right size. And I spent 2 days trying to make it work, and I was like, what am I doing? Is this really the right part? But then I said, you know, then I look and I said, no, it can't be, because one is bigger than the next, you know. And I looked it up, and eBay is selling me the same piece that Amazon is selling. A couple others site was selling the same. They're saying it's the complete assembly set, but all of them is the same size. And then I went to AutoZone, and AutoZone had it, you know. Napa didn't have it. Advanced Auto Parts didn't have it. They were selling the same little the little one that Amazon was selling, and eBay, and AutoZone actually had it, and it was $115, and I got it shipped. So it was like $117, $118 after tax, and I had it shipped here, and you know, and that's it. And that's just maybe 4 months old, because that's almost the same time that this engine has been sitting here. This whole car is sitting here, and that baby right there. If you ever own a 2009, 2010, 2012 Dodge Journey, the all-wheel drive, and you're gonna change your engine mount sets, do not buy them the complete assembly, guys. Do not buy the complete assembly, because you're gonna get the wrong the back it both serve as the transmission and the engine mount, but I more say it's for the transmission mount. Because why I said that, because it actually, when the engine goes in, guys, right here, it sits right here on the and it sits right on here on your transmission right here. This is where this is gonna go back in, and the long bolt is gonna go through there. This long bolt right here, I think it's a 4 inch bolt, and this is the bolt, guys. This is a 4-inch bolt that goes all the way through there, and it has a bolt on that side that it automatically tighten it up. So the way it's positioned, it is a transmission mount, guys. It is the rear transmission mount. It has nothing to do with the engine. It's the rear transmission mount, because it connects right back to the transaxle. See the transaxle right here, guys? That's where it connects right back to the transaxle right here. So that transaxle is gonna go in to that mount, and then you put the bolt back in, and that's what it holds the end of your transmission, so it doesn't shake back there. So there's no engine mount back there. It's just the transmission mount. But I was told that it serves for both the engine and the transmission, because you know the transaxle is connected back to the engine block right there. It's connected back. So I guess it both holds. I'm saying, you know, I'm not guessing. I'm saying that it serves both purposes, both for the engine and the transmission. Even though the transaxle is the one that's connected to it, but the transaxle is also connected to the engine mount right back there, but by the engine block, and it's only one mount back there, and that's why that mount is so huge, because it's taking most of the pressure. It's holding all the pressure that the side ones and the bottom one is holding, guys. So always bear in mind that you're gonna purchase, when you're purchasing the complete assembly, you're not gonna get the exact size. You're not gonna get the exact size, guys. So bear that in mind, okay? You're not gonna get the exact size as the factory one. You're gonna have to either go to, and like I said, the only place I could get it at that time was AutoZone. AutoZone was the only place I could go and get it, guys. So yeah, my engine mount, my transmission mount is a little bit cleaned up. I'm just gonna, you know, put a little bit more finishing touch on it, and like I said, I don't need this right now, but I like to clean them up and, you know, get them ready, and you know, and maybe I'll put it on right now, that in case, you know, I have to catch that side, because it would have been good, and I would be lucky if I could catch the both sides, instead of catching one side and putting too much pressure, too much strain on one side, because then now I'd have to get my jack to put underneath it to take the pressure off. But the goal is not to catch the front without catching the back, because once you catch the back, then the front becomes easy. and you catch the front and you can't catch the back, then it's gonna take a longer time and it's gonna be more pain in the butt to get it done that way. But I like to leave these off because actually when I was taking the engine and the transmission out, I took all these apart, but you know, I'm following the FIFA rule, first in, first out. So I took these off before I took my engine out. So now I put my engine in, I'm putting these back on as the way they came off. I don't know if you guys are following me, but yeah, and you want to make sure you fit it back in the right way it's supposed to fit, because they have the different ways of how they fit in. And yeah, I think this one I probably need to get the transmission up to put this one in. Like I said, FIFA, because I didn't take this off down here. I had jacked it up before I took this off. So, and it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna fit on it. That if I catch that part, I could always put a jack underneath here and take the strain off. I just don't want to kill myself doing something that I don't have to be doing. So let me see if the jack works now, because you know I had put some hydraulic fluid in it, and that's when I know it's either low on hydraulic or it's running out, when it fails to start jacking up. And yeah, I think this thing is done, guys. It's just wasting my hydraulic fluid. It's just wasting it, guys. I'm telling you, it's just pouring out. But I'm gonna work with what I have. Whatever it gives me, that's what I'm gonna take. And if I have to use my jack, to do some of the work, then so be it. Right over here guys, you gotta pay attention to your your transaxle back there, because you don't want your transaxle to go up underneath your subframe and stuck up underneath here. I probably bent your transaxle, so because your transaxle it has to clear back there before, because it has to go all the way up and clear, because that's what goes right next to your flex pipe, and your flex pipe is back there, but it has to go all the way up, that it can matches back with the back, the one on the back. So guys, I got it up in the air enough that I can swing it back and forth. You know, I got it up in the air that I can swing it back and forth. But that one back there is the main one that I want to catch. I don't really want to pay too much attention to here. And I know that it's gonna take a divine intervention to get it, because now I have to pay attention to a whole bunch of things. I have to pay attention to up here. I have to pay attention to my harmonic balancer right here, because you can see, and that's one of the reasons why I had to take my harmonic balancer off when I was doing it the last time. My harmonic balancer right here, guys. See, my harmonic balancer right here is touching on the side of my vehicle right here, and this right here is my my oil sensor, my oil pressure sensor right there. And what I could have done, I could have take it off. Let me see if I can get the camera down a little bit more to show you. You see my harmonic balancer right there is touching on the side of my car, and also I know once I bring my engine up, it's gonna touch my my sensor right here, which is my oil pressure sensor, and I don't really care if that breaks because I have another one that I can put on, but I would hope for it not to break, because I'm going to take that harness off, because the harness on the original harness is on my main harness, and they cut this one right here, so this has no use to me. But I'm going to keep the harness because they cut it at a distance that you could reuse it in case of anything. So that's those little things you got to pay attention to. You know, you got to pay really attention, because if you're not paying attention, you know, you could break something. And the reason how I got it out easy is because I had took this whole harmonic balancer, all my pulleys, everything, I had took it off from the old one, and that's why I got the old one out, because I had problem getting it out while they was on it. But let me see if I can fit this thing up in the ear, because from here I remember from here I had to start using the jack. I had the jack underneath it. From here I remember when I was taking it down, I had the jack underneath it, and I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna really do just that, because like I said, I don't want to put too much pressure on one side. So I'm gonna put my jack up underneath there. My jack up underneath here, guys, and my jack is what I'm gonna use to steer this thing into the right position, because when I have my jack up underneath here, I have more space to work. And then when you gotta pay attention that when you put in your jack up underneath this thing, you're putting it at a position where it's not touching onto your transmission pan. And what I always do, guys, I always put like a piece of 2x4, and that's why these little things come in handy, because now it works. And this is the reason why I had built this little thing right here. I cut the long one, I cut the short one, because it serves right in between the transmission pan and the oil pan. So it's not putting pressure on one. It's actually, when you lift it up, it actually lifts up the whole thing. This one came out a little bit too much. Okay, there we go. Like I said, I'm not using this, I'm just using it as a support, guys. It's not really the main one that I'm using. I'm using it as a support. I could go from that side and I could jot this side up, and that's what I should have done, because I don't really need this side to come up. But if I can get this side up, then that side will be okay. It don't really matter to me as long as I get it up. And I want to get it up that my harmonic balance or anything like here is not touching to break anything. So you got to pay attention when you're jacking it up. You got to pay attention to this side. But like I said, I'm not really focusing on this side right now, guys. I'm just focusing on that this engine goes back and go high enough to catch the back. when you're doing this, you have to pay attention to everything. You have to pay attention to everything, guys. Everything. Because everything has to, when you get to a certain point, guys, everything has to be lined up exactly for it to pass through, because your harmonic balancer has to pass through first, and the transmission has to pass through to go over here like that. It has to go over in order for it to work. I can do that, and or I could use my, because now I'm taking pressure off my cherry picker by using my jack as a support. So once I get put my cherry picker up a little bit more, I can reposition my jack once I get the pressure off my jack. I think it shift out a little bit. I didn't want it to shift out. That's what I said. I didn't want it to shift out, guys. And then just need to, once I get it at the back, just like that. Just like that, guys. Because like I said, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring the camera up and I'm going to show you how I got it, guys. I'll show you that I got it right in here. I'm going to take it back out and I'm going to show you, and it's going to come out right now because I don't have the jack on it, because once I use the cherry picker to put it up like that, I'm going to need the jack now to hold it so it doesn't move. And I'm going to use the jack underneath it to hold it up so it doesn't move, guys. And once I do that, I'll have a little bit more leverage. I'll bring it up too far. Because if I let this go, it's going to come all the way back out. So I'm going to just use my jack to just hold it up so it doesn't move. Not too much on it, just enough so I can push it back still, but I'm showing you where it's got to be. And this piece right here, guys, got to go into there, and I got it in just now. But the mistake that I made, that I didn't have the bolt near me, or at least I did, and I didn't remember where I put it. Because this is the bolt that got to go through. And sometimes the first shot is the right shot, and I did do it the first time and it went right in, and I'm not sure if it's gonna go in again, but you know, we'll see. We'll see, guys, because I know I got lucky the first time. And I'm gonna adjust my camera for you guys because I want to bring it up so you guys can see exactly how it's gonna go in. And I think I don't wanna mash my camera in the meantime I'm doing that. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna zoom in, and when I zoom in, you guys probably can see down in there where I'm putting this thing through. I know this straps right here is kind of preventing you, but once I get it in, I just want to show you right in here, right in this spot right here. That's where I'm going to put this screw right here, this bolt, long 2.5 inch, 3 inch bolt that goes in, and when it goes in, it screws. But this is a very difficult task back here, guys, because this has to pass through where your steering wheel column is at, and that's right here. Let me get this thing right here and show you. the steering wheel column. This is the steering wheel column over here, guys, and this is gonna go into here, and the bolt has to pass through this way. So it's a very difficult task, and when after you put the bolt in, you cannot screw it from here. You have to get it from the driver's side, the front wheel. You have to get it from that side, and you have to use an extension to get all the way through. And this is this is a M8. This is a M8 or 8mm, and this is a 14mm. I don't like to guess. Let me grab my 14mm. It's either 14mm or 15mm, but it's a M8. It's a M8. Either 30 or yeah, 14. It's a M8 is, I don't know. Let me clean it up and see, guys. It's a M8. It's not mean a M8 is a 13mm. Yeah, this should be a 13mm. M8 is a special type, but it should be a 13mm M8 head. 13mm. Yep, it's 13mm, but it's a M8 and it's a special type, and this is for the rear engine mount or transmission mount support. And yeah, the sun went down, so inside of here it got a little bit dark, guys. And let me see if I can turn the flashlight on this camera. That's some of the advantage that camera has that cell phone doesn't have, because the cell phone you could be recording and it don't give you the option of turning on the light, but these digital camera, they give you that that advantage of turning on